Hey, my name is Rowan Smith and I want to welcome you to the Training for Trekking podcast. Now, this is the world's very first podcast which is entirely dedicated to helping you train, prepare and conquer your upcoming hike, trek or mountain adventure. So once a week, I'm going to be giving you quality and practical information on the subjects of physical preparation for trekking, dealing with altitude and nutrition on the trail, so you can know everything you need to be doing to have the best chance of a safe, enjoyable and successful adventure. So now you know what you're in for. Let's get into today's episode. Alright, hello guys. Today we're talking all about in-season training for hiking, or more specifically, what you can do to maintain your hiking fitness and maintain your strength when you're simply just going out hiking lots and you don't have a particular goal that you're leading up to, but you've just got, say, the summer months or the hiking months coming up and you just want to go out and enjoy yourself. Now, this episode is inspired by a conversation I was having with one of my online clients, Andrea, the other day. And she's been training with me for a good 6 months now, leading into she's training for the Overland Track in February. But essentially, she's been training over the last 6 months to really make some improvements in her hiking fitness, to develop strength, to get on top of some aches and pains, which she's been seeing some really good results from. And specifically over the last couple of months, she's been stuck in lockdown over Melbourne, so she hasn't been able to go out and do a huge amount of hiking. So we've been really honing in on her training at home and around the local neighborhood to keep on improving her fitness and keep on improving her trail fitness, while she couldn't simply just go out and hike and get out as much as she would like. But now recently her lockdown situation has changed, so she can go out and hike pretty much as normal now, almost. On top of that is the weather is over in Australia, starting to get a little bit nicer. It's getting out of the winter months, and that's opening up a lot of opportunities for other types of outdoor pursuits. And specifically, she loves swimming, she loves kayaking, she loves riding her bike. And she was asking me, she was like, look, Rowan, I'm in a really good position with my fitness right now. I've done a lot. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really good on the trail. But what can I do at this time where I don't really want to be using these other things like swimming and cycling and kayaking? I don't want to be using them as training. I don't want to be thinking about them as training, because I just want to go out and enjoy myself. And I don't want to be thinking about all my hiking as just training, because I want to go out and enjoy myself. Like, yes, I've got this thing in February, but right now I kind of really want to do the minimum of my training that can maintain all the work we've done, so I can just go out and enjoy these pursuits for what they are. And this is a super important subject. And it's something that I want to explore in relative depth today, because there will always come a point where we get to this situation. So whether we've just ticked off a big hiking goal and we may have been training for that for a few months, we've just done a big hike, we come back and we're like, okay, well, we don't have another big goal, but I've got lots of hiking I want to do. So what can I do with my training to maintain this? Or you might be in a similar situation for Andrea, in which the weather's getting nicer, you've got lots of things you want to do, but you don't want to be thinking this is all training, and you want to just relax a little bit, enjoy yourself a little bit, and so forth. Or alternatively, you might be somewhere where you can only hike for certain periods of time in the year, and you might be in that in-season of hiking where you want to get out every single weekend, and you're not stressed about doing a huge amount of training to improve your fitness, but you definitely want to maintain things over that time. So today, I'm just going to be talking through basically the bare minimum that you can do to maintain your fitness, whether you're in season or whether you're just enjoying yourself, or any of those situations I was talking about. And this is pretty much what I recommended to Andrea and what we're working through with our programming at the moment. Now, essentially, there's a few things you really want to think about here when it comes down to this situation. Now, it's so much easier once you've developed strength, or once you've developed cardiovascular fitness, or once you've developed mobility. It is so much easier to maintain this as opposed to gaining it in the first place. So once you've got yourself to a position where you're happy, maintaining it is a lot easier, and you don't need to do anywhere near as much work as previously. Now, when you're in this situation, there's a few priorities that I generally like to think about. Number one, you want to maintain your muscular strength. We've done so much to build that up, or hopefully you've done so much to build that up. You want to maintain that and not let that drop off. Number two, you want to maintain your muscular endurance, which is sort of the ability of your legs to produce force again and again and again and again. And we want to maintain that, if not keep on developing it during season. Number 3, we want to maintain some type of hiking specific conditioning, meaning on this podcast, I've talked many times about different workouts you can do to prepare you for particular aspects on the trail. So if it's stopping you huffing and puffing going up hills, if it's stopping the leg burn going up hills, it's being used to carrying a heavy pack, if it's, working on hiking pace or whatever it may be, whatever those particular aspects of fitness are, we generally want to maintain that in these situations. Because if we just spend all this time working up to a heavy pack to be comfortable with that, or we've just spent all this time developing a particular type of cardiovascular fitness to not get huffed and puffed on hills, we want to maintain that. We don't want to lose that because this is directly going to impact our hiking and our enjoyment. So we want to be thinking about that. And on the 4th thing, we also want to be thinking about maintaining what's called our aerobic capacity, and that's just our general lower intensity training. So 4 things you want to have in your week. Number 1, you want to be doing some type of strength development. So this doesn't have to be huge, but essentially you want to be looking at a minimum of 1 session a week and working at some type of harder strength training. So something that's going to be able to give you a little bit of challenge, something that's going to have a reasonable amount of resistance, something that's going to be 8 repetitions or less. And you want to do that once a week. So that could simply be choosing, maybe 1 pistol squat variation or step down variation, 1 single leg deadlift variation, and a few little filler exercises of core and balance and yada, yada, yada. And you might just do that once a week and just maintain that over the season. That is, as long as you challenge yourself on this and as long as you lay it out all right, that's going to be enough to maintain your strength. And that's actually going to be more than enough to maintain your strength. As a pure minimum, you want to be doing 1 every 2 weeks, but 1 a week is pretty accomplishable for most people, and something between maybe 20 minutes to 45 minutes, 60 minutes if you really got the time. So priority number 1 strength session a week. And combined with that, you probably want to be looking at 1 endurance session per week as well. So this is doing another type of strength training, but where you're just doing lots and lots and lots of repetitions, as we talked about many times on this podcast. So again, anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes, but you want to do 1 of those a week just to maintain this. Now you can do it in multiple different ways, doing this muscular endurance, so heel intervals, stair intervals, and yada, yada. But I like strength training in this situation because you can control it, you can change it, you're not bashing up your joints, it's not going to take a huge amount of time. It's very, very easy. So 1 strength session a week, 1 muscular endurance session a week. Then you want to be thinking about this hiking specific conditioning. And you generally just want to think about, 12 weeks ago, 14 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago, whatever it was when you started training, what was the big thing that you really struggled with? What was the big thing on the trail that you were trying to improve on? So as I said before, it might have been a heavy pack, it might have been cardiovascularly going up hills, or whatever it may be. And you just want to make sure you're maintaining something that's going to work on that once a week. So generally, I like to do with my clients is maybe do 4 weeks of one aspect of fitness, 4 weeks of another, 4 weeks back to the first one. So the first 4 weeks of maintaining your fitness, you might do, those aerobic power intervals that I mentioned many, many times on this podcast. So 2.5 minutes on, 90 seconds rest, and do that for 4 weeks. And then the next 4 weeks, you might do hill intervals or stair intervals. And then the next 4 weeks, you might go back to the aerobic power intervals. And then the next 4 weeks, you might do hill or stair intervals or whatever it may be. But that's easy enough. And again, that's only going to be anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes. Short and sweet, get in there, make it happen. And then the 4th thing that you want to be thinking about in your week is this is really depending on what you're doing. Now, if you're in, say, Andrew's situation where you're just out enjoying other outdoor pursuits. So you might be doing walking, you might be doing kayaking, you might be doing swimming, you might be hiking multiple times a week. In this situation where you're active, you're moving, and you're doing things in your week regularly at low intensity for long durations, you don't need to worry about anything else. Those 3 sessions a week, that'll sort you out. 1 strength, 1 endurance, 1 hiking specific conditioning. However, if you're in the situation where maybe you're only doing an outdoor pursuit or an active pursuit every couple of weeks, you just want to fill in those other weeks with some type of longer cardio, low intensity, longer cardio. So that might be walking around the neighborhood with a pack on your back. That might be cycling. That might be on the cross trainer in the gym or whatever it may be. But essentially, you want to be making sure you're doing 1 of those things each week, whether it's hiking, whether it's something else as a minimum. So in that situation, you're basically laying out your week with 1 strength, 1 endurance, 1 hiking specific conditioning, and the rest of it, as long as you're active, you can go out and enjoy yourself. Now that's super, super simple. Most people can fit that stuff in. If you're super, super, super crunched for time, you might combine the strength and endurance session and do 20 minutes of strength and 20 minutes of endurance, and just end up doing, 2 sessions a week. That's up to you. But personally, I like those 3 sessions And that's going to keep you going, whether you're in a period where you just want to enjoy yourself for a while, whether you're in season and you're just going out doing lots of hiking, or in any other situation that I've been mentioned. But basically, that's a really, really simple way you can go about maintaining your fitness and making sure you don't drop off, and maintaining almost that peak fitness once you've built it up. And it takes a lot of stress out of your life. It takes a lot of, time commitments away from the training. And it just frees you up to go out and enjoy yourself again. So if you do find yourself in this situation, maybe summer's coming, maybe you've just finished an adventure, or maybe, whatever else, have a think about this process. Look about the bare minimum of your training, keep that up so you don't lose it all, but everything else, go out and enjoy yourself, keep yourself going, get on the trail, have a good time, and this should be enough to keep you moving forward. So I hope that all made sense today, guys. I did go into a little bit of detail around that, but hopefully it was all relatively clear. Now, if it didn't make sense, or if you want some examples around some of the workouts I mentioned, or if you wanted me to dive into any of these bits and pieces a little bit more, as I've been mentioning on the podcast recently, I would absolutely love to see you in the Training for Hiking and Trekking Facebook group. Now, inside that group, I'm always happy to expand on things I've talked about, give practical examples of workouts and exercises, or anything else which may help let you get a little bit more value out of this particular podcast. So if you do want to find that, it's the Training for Hiking and Trekking Facebook group. You can find that in the show notes below. I'll leave a link and you can come check it out and get involved. So thank you so much for listening today, guys. I do hope you've gotten a little bit out of it. Have a lovely day and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.